Hi Aries, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your mid-October 2023 love reading. Thank you to those of you who liked, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's a bridging gap spread. And the way it works is look at the past, present, future energies between your own main love interest. Once we get through all that, we'll pull some oracle cards for some additional insight as well, and that's where the bridging the gap dynamic comes into play. And as far as the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot, on the right side we have the Romantic Tarot. And keep in mind it's a general reading, so it can be referring to the cards on the left is the energy and the cards on the right is the other person's. If you feel like it's the way around in your situation, then definitely trust that. Alright, so with all that out of the way, we'll get started. Past energy on your side, we have the Two of Cups. So if we look at the artwork for this specific deck, right, it's not what you're used to seeing for a Two of Cups card. We see one cup is knocked over, it looks like there's a storm, there's lightning in the background. So it could just be saying that in the past, the feelings between the two of you may have been genuine, but there might have been some difficulty with actually getting the connection off the ground as well. Okay, past energy on their side, we have love. So this is the equivalent of the lovers in traditional tarot and Gemini energy. So it could just be saying that they might have actually felt a lot more optimistic around the connection, right? Because like I said, it looks like there's some stormy emotions on your side here, whereas everything just seems a lot more smooth, right? A lot calmer waters and everything. So it could just be one of those things where maybe there was something from your past that was posing a bit of a difficulty within the connection. Right. In the present position on your side, we have the Ace of Arrows. So this could just be saying you're getting a realization around the situation, right? So we see lightning once again in the frame there. And this could be pointing to the new moon eclipse we're just about to have in Libra, which is the opposite sign of relationships. So it could just be one of those things where, like I said, maybe you come to the realization that maybe in the past there was still something that was bothering you that might have been causing a bit of difficulty within the connection. All right, present energy on their side, we have the King of Wands. So this is a Leo energy here, and if we look at the facial expression and body language of this person, it seems like they're pretty disinterested, right? Like they're not necessarily going to go out seeking something. So it could just be that this is the energy that this person is in, where they might feel like the expectation is for them to receive, right? They don't necessarily want to go out and pursue things. So maybe for some of you that could have been part of the problem, right? So it could have been where the feelings might have genuinely been there, right? But let's say if this was your cup knocked over and it's empty, right? And then you have this person who's just expecting to receive, and you can't give from an empty cup, right? So it could have been one of those things where the feelings might have been genuine between the two of you, but the practicality of it wasn't necessarily aligning. All right, and future energy on your side, we have the Five of Cups. So this is Scorpio energy here, so it could be pointing to a time period for you guys, meaning that as we go through that last week or so of October, you might be feeling this energy a little bit more, but this is an energy that points to regrets. So like I said, whatever this realization was, maybe you realize, like I said, that where the two of you were at the time just wasn't conducive to a healthy relationship, where if you felt like your cup was empty and this person just wanted to take and take and take, right, then obviously we could see where that'd be an issue. So could be some regrets around the way it went, but I feel like the love could still be there, right, because we see the two cups standing. Right, and future energy on their side, we have the Five of Swords. So usually with Five of Swords in a lot of decks, it points to a combative nature, but in this deck in particular, it gives off a much different energy. We see the person holding flowers, throwing some of them to the water there, right? We could clearly see that they look pretty disappointed. And yeah, so I feel like in a way you guys are both processing some disappointments around the way things went in the past. Because like I said, the one thing that did seem to be pure within the connection was the love, the attraction, right? But how you guys practically showed up in the connection seemed to be the difficulty. And could be one of those things where there might be promise for that, right? That once you guys do process that fact, you realize, okay, yeah, we weren't showing up as our best selves in the past. Live and learn, right? But at the same time, I will say I don't see necessarily either of you taking action toward it. So it could just be one of those things where you're still going to be processing the disappointment in the near future, and maybe once you get beyond that, there's more promise for the connection. All right. Bottom of the deck on your side, we have tradition. So this is the equivalent of the Hierophant in traditional tarot. So yeah, it could just be saying that again. The love and the draw to each other is genuinely there, but there could have just been some obstacles in the way, right? We see the names Romeo and Juliet on this card, which points to, multiple different ways that there could have been obstacles as far as getting this connection off the ground. But again, I feel like the love is still there. All right, and bottom of the deck on their side, we have the Four of Pentacles. So here what stands out to me is we see those columns in the background. Clearly some of them are knocked over, things along those lines, right? So to me that makes me think of the stability that once stood with those columns, right? So I feel like this is saying that they might come to the realization too that, like I said, between the two of you might have just let the connection fall apart because you just weren't necessarily showing up as your best selves at the time. So but at the same time, this Four of Pentacles energy also points to a bit of stubbornness too, right? So could this be one of those things where, yeah, they might realize it just like you realize there's regrets, but I don't see either of you necessarily acting to fix the situation. At least not now. All right, moving on to your Oracle cards. First, let's see what we get from the Messages of Love Oracle cards deck. Just looking for a single card here. And we've got one there. It doesn't want to go back in the deck. And next we'll see what we get from the Wisdom Oracle. So same situation, just going to grab a single card from this deck. We'll read both messages and then wrap the reading up with that. All right, and got one there. So let's see what we got from Messages of Love first. Okay, we have regret. It says someone feels remorse for the way they treated you. So yeah, I do have to say, you could see, for example, like I said, that if this is the energy that person was in where they just expected to receive, and not give, right, then yeah, I could see them having some regret around that. And like I said, to be fair though, your cup might have been empty in the past too, right? So I don't necessarily feel like it was all related to this person, but it could just be saying that even if you wanted to give, you might not have been in a position to give as much as you would have even liked to, right? So not necessarily a blame situation there. It could be both of them might have some regrets from what I'm seeing in the future energy there. But for your Wisdom Oracle card, we have Round and Round. There's the artwork, and the number is 25. So let's see what this has to say. Okay, it says, are you wondering, how did I get here again? Does something feel familiar right now in your dynamics with others? Maybe a little too familiar? Don't be surprised that you found yourself repeating an old story with the same sort of person who may not look similar, but who attracted you because of your easy acquaintance with his or her qualities. Your relationship is a mix of what is good and what is potentially challenging. You have been drawn to this person through the perfection of Spirit's plan for your evolution. You may have circled back to an accustomed spot, a familiar place, but that's fine, as you get to do things again, only differently this time, for you learned something of great value since the last time around. How will you choose to behave now that you're aware? Remain curious and stay out of the blame game. So yeah, for sure, this seems to align with what we were already discussing with the main spread. And like I said, it seems like the timing's right with this, right? As far as like we just mentioned, you're going to have that new moon eclipse in your opposite sign coming up in a day or two. So hope it resonated with you guys. We're up there, and we'll see you next month. All right, bye.